Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Teresa. Yes, I have a wig on. It's a very obvious one, but there you go, my hair with a mess, so good luck with that. Anyways, today I am just doing a simple get ready with me and answering a couple of your questions. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then do please keep on watching. I'm just back from work. Can you see the bags under my eyes? Anyways, we'll get into it. I have like 2 pages of questions, like 2 A4, not like dinky little pages, like proper like questions. Now, some of them are a bit like silly and whatever, which I appreciate because it can't always be serious all of the time, but the first one that I got in, because I am dealing with these chronologically in terms of like when they were put to me. The first one was, what's going on with work? And I assume it's because I've been hinting that things have changed and I'm not doing what I used to be doing. Oh my god. Of course I'm starting off with like the trickiest bloody question first. If you have been watching my channel for a while, you will know that I'm a psychologist, a behavioural psychologist in particular. And basically, I had been lecturing here in Ireland. I moved back from England. I used to live in the UK. I have a couple of palettes here in front of me. But I moved back from the UK to lecture because I love lecturing. And that was all going really, really well. I had even, believe it or not, been offered a permanent job. Now in academia, it's really, really hard to get a permanent job. It's a whole thing. So it had all been going, like, in my mind, pretty darn well. You know, like, yay me, job, doing things, you know, starting to look like I was settling down, like we were looking into like potentially properties around Carlo, etc. I mean, we still are, but it's a whole other thing. Anyways, I have to try and figure out how to say this without getting myself into a massive amount of trouble. Because there are definitely like some legalities around some of this. But basically, there were instances of, well, okay. Firstly, what happened was, without getting into a massive amount of detail, there was kind of an issue around academic integrity. And I'm not going to go into any further than that, than just to say it was an issue, and not on my part, like I didn't engage in academic integrity. However, my concerns around that were not listened to, and there was like blatant favoritism, then a lot of ableism and discrimination, quite a bit of bullying, and eventually got to the point where like I had filed complaints but I wasn't being listened to, and I kind of went, no, screw this. It's not good enough. I'm not okay with this, and I quit. Because if nothing else, I have learned about myself, my principles actually matter quite a bit to me. So I left, I finished. And in the meantime, I had found another job back in applied practice, which is fine. So that's like working with individuals with developmental disabilities. So whether it's like an intellectual disability, autism, dyspraxia, whatever. So I have been doing that for the past 7 weeks. It involves a massive amount of travel. Now, I was told when I started that I would primarily be in the Carlo area, which is where I live presently. Plot twist, I have not been around there really at all. So it's been a lot of like getting used to. It's a tricky job. Like anything in the applied sector is really, really tricky. You're dealing with like resourcing issues, like when you get called in, it's basically things are on fire. Try and fix it, and you're like, oh my god, who let this go on to this point? I mean, with all of that, and obviously attempting to travel, at points I was doing up to 700 kilometers a week, which is not ideal. Now, I hate to say the word traumatized because it's often thrown around like it doesn't mean anything. But in this instance, I had been traumatized by what had gone on in my previous job. I left that thinking, oh my God, I love lecturing so much and I'll never get the chance to do that again. My career was completely ruined. You know, I'm totally destroyed. I spent most of the summer crying over everything that was happening. Most of the times that poor Sahil would see me, it was just me blubbing into his shoulder, just being like, oh, everything's awful forever and always. Like, he has been so good. Like, I take the mick out of him so much and I'm like, blah, blah, blah. But he is such an absolute rock for me. Like, I do not deserve him. He's incredible. Like, he really is. So I was struggling so much with all of that. And just thinking, well, that's it. That's the end of that. So I was dealing with all of the, let's face it, like trauma associated with that and kind of going, oh, well, I'll never lecture again. That's it. And then I'd had several interviews for lecturing positions. Now, for context, there are not many universities in Ireland. There's very few, and there's even fewer that do psychology degrees. So I was like, well, that's it. And we're a very educated lot. That's the thing about our education system. We have like proportionally quite a few people who have gone all the way to like masters, PhD level, etc. So it's super competitive, like really competitive, like frighteningly so. So I kind of figured, well, that's that then. And I had some interviews. I would always get like quite far into them, like the top 2, the top 3, whatever, and then just failed at the final hurdle. And I was like, oh Jesus, that's it. The day I started, so I'd kind of been doing that while I had quit. It was a whole thing. While I had quit the first job, as in the first lecturing job, where all of the ethical issues occurred. And the day I started as an applied behaviour analyst, I got feedback from one of my interviews kind of going, yeah, you've got it. Like, here's the job. You are a lecturer again. And I was like, holy shizballs. But they were like, hold on though, like hold your horses, because we have to do X, Y, and Z. And there were like a load of like hoops to jump through, and I had to go to like a governing body. And anyways, I was waiting for a month, well, for over a month, to get the official word back of like, no, you definitely have the job. So then when I eventually got the job, then I was like, okay, great, bye. So yeah, I have got a job again, lecturing. So like, I'm really tired because I'm still working. This is actually, as I'm filming, this is my very last week of applied work, and I'm taking a week off, which was meant to be to rest, but frankly, they're having me go straight into like lecturing. So it's highly likely I will just be like writing up lectures in that time off. But I might see if they can pay me for that, because, you know, but I feel so much better just knowing that that's the case, because like it was traumatic, like really awful. And there were times that with this newer job, the one where I was working as an applied behaviour analyst, I was working like 14-15 hour days and just driving crazy distances, and it was too much for me. Like I'm not able for all of that. Like, to be fair, I think most people aren't able for that, so I don't think I'm anything strange or special in that regards. But yeah, it's just been a trying couple of months, and then I've had other things happening in my personal life with people I thought that were friends, but that's a whole other ball game, and I'm not going to get into that because it's too upsetting. But yeah, it does look like things are on the up. New job, well, that sort of thing. So like 3 different jobs in the span of like less than 2 months. So, or well, about 3 months. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind, I believe is what the children would say. And then the next question that I was asked was, what are your favorite makeup brushes? Well, it kind of depends as to, like, are we talking about eye makeup brushes or, you know? So my favorite brush for, say, a cut crease is this one that came in a Real Techniques pack. I love Jessup brushes for the eyes. I have a Lois Cosmetics foundation brush that is my ride or die. I have a Zoeva brush that I use for like liquid and cream products, which is like this one here. I love it. But I love it so much that I got a second one. The Jessup 238 or 237 is my ride or die. I love that to a frightening degree. If you have watched my channel for any period of time, you should have seen me with that many, many, many times. So I don't think that will come as a massive shock. But when it comes to, like, say, things like foundation brushes, like I said, I love the Lois Cosmetics one. It's so nice and densely packed, and it just kind of disperses the foundation perfectly for me. I also find the It Cosmetics one is annoyingly good. You know, like, it's one of my favorites. It'll make a really rubbish foundation still look good. So yeah, those are my favorite brushes. So it's a mix of high end and more affordable. And now for a completely different topic. So obviously I put this onto my Instagram stories and was like, hey, ask me anything. And Sahil, yeah, that's right, I'm naming you, was like, oh, now's the time for me to be hilarious. And he asked, no word of a lie, how good is your sex drive? This is how I lose all of my monetization. Like, Sahil, why are you asking? You should know. Like, we've been together for over a year. You should know that I am as pure as the driven snow. I will not let you touch me. I will not let anyone touch me until I am betrothed to someone or something. I don't know. I'm just like, wait. You're hilarious. I know, you're very, very funny. Like, proper, like, dad jokes. Yeah. And then I got asked, how are the cats? They're all good. Cece is really enjoying being here with me. It's just me and her at the moment because there were various plans around having Cinnamon here, but he is still awaiting further surgery. Wee, put more gold in there. Why not? Let's make it a little bit odd. But yeah, he is still awaiting a little bit more surgery. So for the moment, he's staying put in Mayo and having an absolute ball of a time. Darcy is still going around essentially bullying all of the other cats because apparently that's what he does best. I love him so much, but he is like a proper, like, bull boy. I love him. But yeah, they're all good. And then Franca, you fabulous girl, asked me how am I so gorgeous, and actually Trina asked the same thing. So flattery, my friends, will get you absolutely everywhere. Then Brianna asked me, do I have a picture of an all-time favourite look? And I think it's actually, I have a few looks that I've really, really liked. So I don't know if I have like a favourite look in particular. I think actually my favourite look is when Daniela did my makeup. I know it's not one that I did, but it has like really special kind of meaning to me. So I really like that one. And then Brianna knows me so well because then she said, what's your all-time favourite palette and your all-time favourite brand after Lois Cosmetics and Meet Me in the Underworld? I'm like, God damn you, because I would. Like, I'm going to refrain from saying them, but I do. Like, if you've watched my channel, you just know I'm a little bit of a ride or die Lois Cosmetics stan. Like, just love them. In terms of palette, I would actually say it's the Break the Rules palette by It's Belle Cosmetics. And here's the thing, I almost passed on that, and then Daniela totally changed my mind. She was like, no, trust me, this is unique, this is worth talking about. And I was like, we'll see. And I bought it, and I've hit pan on 1 or 2 shades to the point that I've gone off and bought it again. That is the only other palette, with the exception of the Meet Me in the Underworld, that I've ever bought like a second of. Like, that's like, I think that's so good. So that's the palette. In terms of brand, I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite brand. Like, I hate to say it, okay, but I would say, oh God, it's happening, I'm going to say it, bleh, Beauty Day, right? I absolutely abhor, and I cannot say that enough, I hate their customer service. I think, like, they're so bad, like so bad. But my God, do they know how to make palette? Sorry, had to change the battery. Not on me. I am a real human, promise. But on the camera. So yeah, then the next one. Brianna, you know me so well. What is my favourite shade of green in terms of like an eyeshadow? Okay, so in general, I love a chartreuse. However, if we're talking about like a specific shade in a palette that exists already, and I'm not going to name Lois Cosmetics, because screw that, they get enough publicity off of me. Stop that now, Lois. You know you're fabulous, and you can just calm yourself, you know. It would have to be, I think, the It's Belle Cosmetics Break the Rule palette. There is a green in that I think I even used it when I was over at Mrs. And like, I got so many comments on it of like, what is that you have on your lid? It's bananas. In ice in the best way possible. Oh no, I think this is drying out. Oh no. But yeah, that would probably be one of my favourites. Sorry, I had to get a different liner because that one has died. But to be fair, I've had it for over a year and I've used it a lot. So we're all alright, Lois. That's a pity though, because do you know what? I'm going to keep that out of sentimental reasons, because Lois doesn't stock those anymore. Yeah, I'm not basic B. I will keep things for sentimental reasons. Yeah. Okay. And then the next question was number of cats goals. I mean, how many cats exist in the world? Like, I'm just saying, like, I would have as many as I was permitted to have. Like, if I had all of the funds, like if I had Jeffrey Bezos levels of money, like if I was obscenely rich, I would open a cat sanctuary where like cats could just be homed and cuddled and taken care of, irrespective of, you know, where they've come from, because cats deserve that too. Then I got asked, what is a place that I've always wanted to travel to? Iceland. I am desperate to go to the Blue Lagoon. Anyone who knows me knows that I have a little bit of a thing about water. I just love it. It makes me really, really happy. I don't know what it is about it. It's like my little happy space. So I want to go to the Blue Lagoon and just flap around in there and be really, really happy. I now also quite badly want to go to India. Not because, like, I mean, India looks like an absolutely stunning place, but I want to go there with Sahil to like see his family and stuff, because I know that would be quite important to him. So that would be one for me. I like that I'm doing this because then I don't have to have the eyes match. And this is totally out of my comfort zone, because I would normally never ever do anything like this. And then I got asked, what is my favourite tea? And I know that like a lot of people drink like herbal teas. Now I'm not a herbal tea kind of gal. I'm sorry, like I'm basic. I mean, are you that surprised? I am just a basic woman, and that's okay. I like what I like. So I actually like just normal tea. I know that I think the English call it like breakfast tea, we just call it tea. So if it comes down to brands, if it's caffeinated, I like Lions, and if it's decaf, I like Barry's. I was just cleaning off the excess of what I don't know. Then I got asked favorite sweet food. Okay, so it's between Maltesers and Milka, the Happy Cow one. None of the other ones. Do not like the rest of the Milka. I like the Happy Cow one. And it's really funny because if I take, like, say the Alpine chocolate one and the white chocolate one, and if I mix them together, I would not like that. It has to be the Happy Cow one. I'm so specific, and I was really annoyed because they've changed their prices. They go up and down. Like, they're usually like €1.89, but then sometimes they're like in Tesco on offer for like €1, and I'm like, you are obviously still making a profit on this, and then I will still buy it. But if I see them for like €1, I bulk buy them because I am that idiot. And then I got asked what is my favorite savoury food. Dal. Sahil makes the best dal ever. It makes me so happy. I love it so much, like to a frightening degree. I really do. Like, I love it. And sometimes he'll really, really kindly make me like a chunk of dal for like a week on a weekend, and that'll keep me going. Because I am that person who will just eat the same thing over and over and over again. Like, I have no problem with that. And then I got asked, do I have any allergies? I mean, you're gonna think I'm nuts. I have a slight intolerance to cats. Like, there was a period of time where I went to England, in case you didn't know, and I lived by myself and I had no cats. That was a dark time. So I was obviously not exposed to cat dander for a really long time, and obviously, like, I had built up a tolerance to it, because then when I started to be around cats again, like when I started to volunteer with the RSPCA, I came out in horrible rashes, my eyes would start running, and I remember that was actually the case when I was much younger as well. So like, it is just like a thing with me that my body seems to be a little bit allergic to the thing that I love the most. So that seems like almost poetic, really, you know, that I should be a little bit allergic to that. And then the general thing of like, I have a bit of like skin sensitivity to things like plasters and stuff, so, but like the term hypoallergenic doesn't really mean anything. It's just like, my skin doesn't like sticky things. It sounds very wrong. And then I got asked what was my worst skin reaction to makeup. Do you know what? I've been really lucky because my skin is actually relatively hardy. Probably the worst would have been probably me not knowing how to take off glitter initially and just scratching the skin on my eyes. I know. But I know better now. We take it off with sellotape and then everything is okay. But yeah, for really early on, I did not know. I full on did not know how to deal with that. But in general, yeah, my skin is generally pretty okay. Like, I don't have any massive issues with it. And then something that I would never buy. I mean, I don't think there's anything that I would like say, oh, I'll never buy that. Because, you know, to each their own. Yeah, I mean, I can't really think of it. Do you know what? No, I will say, you know those face roller things? I don't really see the point in those. I wouldn't get those. But that's because I'm a lazy bee. They probably are absolutely spectacular, and I'm just an idiot who doesn't know how to use these things. But yeah, other than that, no, I think I'm pretty open to like most things. And then I got asked, what is something that I got that I hated that I didn't even try to pan? Okay, so I'm going to link this video actually down below, and it was, you know, this stupid colour changing foundation that's meant to like fit everyone. And I got I think it was 3 different types. And I was like, by the way, if they do fit everyone, I'm going to take me and I'm going to take my mother, who is you know, a totally different skin tone. She has a deeper skin tone than me, and she's more sallow. Like has a darker skin tone than me. So I was like, well, if it fits her and me, well then great. Oh my god, it was terrible. It left such a white cast. It was such trash. Like, I just binned it straight away, and I hate binning things. Like, if I find something is absolutely dreadful, I will still try to pan it. Like, like, there's enough stuff that's going into the landfill without me adding to it, so I try to avoid that at all possible costs. So you know it's bad when even I'm like, yeah, there is nothing redeeming here, like, at all. And then a totally different topic is, what do you think UFOs are? I mean, that is an interesting conversation. So, first of all, what do I think UFOs actually exist? Here's the thing, there's a lot of things that human beings don't know, and I think you're really arrogant if you think that we're the only life form across how many galaxies and how many universes. So, you know what? Yeah, and I think, I'm going to sound bananas here, but I think if there is intelligent life, they are intelligent enough to know, leave us alone, because they've seen we're not even good with keeping each other alive. We are horrible to each other. So they've probably looked at us and kind of gone, Jesus, they are, or whatever their deity is, they're like, okay, they cannot even be nice to each other. If we come in and say hi to them, they're gonna kill us, which we would, because we're the worst. In terms of what I think UFOs might be, I mean, there's lots of things that show that human beings, we try to explain things using all sorts of means. So they can sometimes just be satellites, they can be, you know, comets. Sometimes they maybe just might be that. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, I will always be skeptical. Like, you know, I wouldn't take anything at face value, but I know enough to know that I don't know everything. And I'm not going to claim that I know everything. Then I got asked, what's the one thing I learned from this pandemic? Oh my lord. I think one of the big things I've learned, and I knew that before the pandemic, but due to like losing family members, but I think one of the big lessons I have learned, I think a lot of people have learned, is just the importance of family, and that work is not a big deal. It is not our be all and end all, because at the end of the day, shit will happen and work will not have your back, but your family and your friends will have your back. So I think we also all learned a work-life balance. Like, I think a lot of us were doing a lot more than we should have done pre-pandemic, and now we're kind of like, oh, that was not a healthy amount of things to be doing. Maybe I need to dial it back. I was like, yeah, maybe you do. Maybe you do, my friend. Maybe you do. Again, a totally different question then. If I think I have ASD and I'm 41 and already have an underlying diagnosis of ADHD, is there any advantage or point in getting a diagnosis? Well, I mean, I suppose it depends on school of thought, really. In the sense that it doesn't change things. Like, you are still who you have always been. You know, you're not going to unlock anything necessarily. However, human beings have always been on a voyage of self-discovery and trying to find things. That's part of why we have a tendency to take those Facebook quizzes of like, which Harry Potter house are you in? We like to know things about ourselves and try to get to understand ourselves better. It also allows us to kind of understand maybe why we may do the things we do, why it is that certain things don't sit well with us. You know, say for instance, if you're autistic, you're more likely to get really annoyed by instances of injustice, because it's, some call it rigidity around an understanding of world order. And I call it just calling it as you effing see it. In terms of practicalities, probably at that age, it's not like you're going to get a huge amount of additional supports. It's different if you're younger. But I would say you are then entitled to a certain amount of additional support. If you're interested in that, you may not be. And you know what? That's okay. So if you're cool with going forward and kind of knowing I may not get anything out of it, then I say it's worth it. I personally think it's just good to know stuff about yourself. Like that's just me. I'm taking this eyeshadow. I think I'm gonna ruin all of this. Oh well. Oh no, we're okay. We're doing okay. I'm gonna bring it all the way over here as well. And put it on the schnoz. And then I just got a really lovely question, which was, how are you? I mean, based upon, I'm sure, the intro you're probably like, or the very first question, you can kind of tell I've been quite overwhelmed. There's been a lot of stuff going on. I have been better, but it does feel a little bit like I'm turning a corner with all of this. This looks manic, but I'm kind of here for it. I am going for like a going out of your comfort zone type thing, so whatever. It's grand. It's grand. Everything's fine. But yeah, I've been struggling quite a bit. I'm really lucky though, because I have fabulous people who are in my corner that do look out for me. I was a little bit frustrated that when the girls were here, they didn't get my best. And I'm sure they're aware of that. Like, it wasn't me firing on all cylinders, being like, yeah, because I was still like in my head about a lot of things. Then I was asked, where do you want to be, or where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Yeah, I mean, I like the current trajectory. Like, if this current job, like as in the new one that I'm starting, if that works out, I would like to still be in it. Maybe get a permanent role in that. It's not really bad that the first thing we talk about in terms of like looking forward is jobs, and it's just a small aspect of our lives. I would like to be married. Yeah, I would like to be settled down, have a house. Yeah, I mean, I don't want anything mad or lavish. Like, I just want a place that is mine and my partner's, and that we can have our family, our friends coming to. You know, I want to be able to travel more now that the world is open, and I want to be able to do that with my partner, you know? So I don't think it's like, these are necessarily weird or outrageous things to want, but you never know, some people are probably like, no, Teresa, you're nuts. Chill TF out. And then I was asked if I could live in one point in history, when would it be? Okay, here's the thing. I love history and I find it really, really, really interesting. But if we're entirely honest, at no point really in history were women doing that well. Like, we were pretty much always second-class citizens. Although in ancient Ireland, women were a pretty equal standing. So I would probably go way back to like Druid times and High Priestess times and just be like, yeah, here we go. And just hang out there, because I like the sound of that. But other than that, the idea, like, I love watching things like Outlander and stuff, because I love or Out of Time, or Timeless, that was such a good show. That should not have been cancelled. They were so foolish to cancel that. Silly them. I look absolutely manic at this point. Then I was asked, what's my favourite thing about doing YouTube? My favourite thing is the community aspect. Like, I've gotten to meet, both virtually and in reality, so many amazing people as a result of YouTube. And I really do think there's an amazing community element. I know that some people are like, oh, it's not real, it's not on the real world. And I'm like, no. It'll stay online if you don't make the effort, but I have made some incredible friends and I love that sense of community. I like doing videos because it allows me to have some time to engage in self-care. And even Sahil has noticed, if I am in a not so great place and I go and I sit down to like film, I'm usually in a much better mood afterwards, because I've had a chance to like play and experiment with music, not with music, with makeup. And doing YouTube also not forces me, but it gives me the opportunity to kind of go out of my comfort zone, like I'm doing today, like doing animal print, doing orange, because orange is not usually my thing unless it's a blush. But that, like, those are my thoughts on that. Then the next question I got asked is, what brand bores you the most and what brand excites you the most? Oh my gosh, like we're getting ready to film releases and rants tonight, so you've already seen this look, but oh my god, the new Tarte palette is absolute trash. I'm sorry, it's so boring. There isn't anything that I've seen from Tarte bar the Icy Beach palette that was of any interest, and it was the original Icy Beach. I mean the like piss take April Fool's joke that I thought was interesting, and then the second one that they came out with, I was like the actual one they came out with, I was like, oh, this is not wildly interesting to me. Like, I find that kind of sad, but that's just my opinion. In terms then of a brand that I am excited about, I mean, there's a few. I'm not going to say Lois. Sorry, I'm not. Like, come on now. it's a given. But I really do tend to get excited about Beauty Bay. They tend to have some really nice things. Obviously, I get excited about things like Melt, although I do, contentious opinion, I do think that they're a bit overpriced for what they are. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. I don't think they're amazeballs sauce. And Cash Beauty. I love that is a brand owned by somebody who is Irish, and Kaylee is an unproblematic queen, so like I like seeing that, and I love seeing her be successful in that, so I get excited for that. I also get excited for Be Perfect, although obviously I was kind of miffed with them and their kind of friendship or whatever with Jefferson Starship, but I'm like, I really don't know what's going on there, so who knows. And then I got asked, do I plan on travelling once the world opens back up? And do you plan on coming to Australia? Tina, you wonderful yoke. Yes, I mean, I've already been travelling technically because I went to the UK. Does that even count? Technically, I mean, I went on a plane. But yeah, I mean, I do absolutely plan on travelling. I want to go to India, obviously, with Sahil, so that we can see his family. I'd love to go to Australia. So, you know, if you want to put me up, Tina, yeah, I'll come stay with you. I'll bring you Irish snacks. It'll all be good. Yeah, absolutely. I'd love that. I do want to travel more. I feel like most people travelled in their 20s and then I didn't. Like, I just missed that point. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there for it. And then Wilma, you wonderful thing, said, you've had a go of it recently on the job front. What is your dream job? Well, here's the thing. As sad as it may sound, my dream job is actually lecturing. I love it. And I am very good at it, she said, with zero hint of modesty. I am actually, like, I am very good at being a lecturer. I like imparting knowledge. I think it's a lot of fun. Oh, by the way, I'm using the Freck kind of pen thing, but I find it's better if I dab it on like this. I'm not very comfortable doing freckles because they never come out right, so really coming out of my comfort zone. I know for a lot of people this is quite basic, but for me, no, not so much. This gives me anxiety. And then I got asked, describe a typical day in the life of Teresa. I am sorry, it is dull AF. I lead a really, really boring life. I wish I could tell you that I parachute. No, actually, I don't want to parachute out of things because I like being on the ground. It is essentially, I wake up usually at about 5 a.m. because Cece has decided to sing me the song of her people. And she's like, right, now is the time to go outside, beloved human. You may let me outside, but I have to feed her first, and then I have to wait around for her majesty. And then I go back to bed, and then I wake up. I have tea, pretty much first thing. I make sure I take all my meds, because for those who don't know, I have quite bad depression and anxiety, and I am on medication for that to kind of manage those aspects of things, absolutely no shame in that. It's all good. And then I'll usually work from whatever time. Sometimes I kind of lose track of time and I go well beyond my designated hours. I'm such a model employee. And in between that, you know, I'll have my lunch hour. Sahil will usually ring and, you know, we just chat about whatever it is. He's always eating. He's one of the few people I can cope with eating and talking on the phone to. If it was anyone else, I would smack them. Have I gone OTT on this? Yeah, absolutely. But sure, screw it, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll put a bit of powder on to like calm it as well. It's grand. But yeah, and then finish work, put on some food, watch a bit of telly, maybe film sometimes, check out Instagram. That's about it. Like, I mean, I don't do anything interesting. I really wish that I could tell you, like, oh my god, yeah, I'm so cool. I do such cool. I don't. I truly don't. That is so brown. See, if I apply it directly, it just comes off as this terrible, terrible brown. It's Freck, by the way. I think they were the original ones of this. Gosh darn you, Freck. Gosh darn you. Maybe if I... And this was coming out okay. And then I screwed it all up. I fucking hate these freckles. What have I done to myself? Ugh, I hate them. Why do I do these? I was trying to go out of my comfort zone and I shouldn't have. I should have stayed in my comfort zone. Comfort zone is called the comfort zone because it's good. And everything else is crap. God, it's absolutely like, it's just like black marks. I hate it. Oh, yes, I wiped at it and it came off. Never have I been so glad about a crap foundation, because by the way, I am using stuff that I'm attempting to ban. What are the things you like about yourself that can't be seen visually? I assume it's like, you don't mean like as in the stuff under my clothes. I like that I can be quite tenacious. It is both annoying but also good, in that when I get something into my head, I will not let it go, and that particular quality has allowed me to essentially do a PhD and just keep going until I get what it is that I need or want. So I like that about myself. I also think I'm quite empathetic and I do consider the feelings of others quite well. Not like I do sometimes miss out on things. I'm not saying I'm perfection. I do miss out on things sometimes, but I think in general, I do think about the feelings of others pretty well, I think. And then I was asked, what did I get at Cashmas? If you look at one of my last videos, I'll link it down below. I'll show you what I got. I got some nice goodies. I don't regret anything. Except for, like, that I clearly should not be allowed out into a general society. You know, just saying. I think I'm going to do something that I'm going to terribly regret. I've got this little pot of glitter from Collection. I think I'm going to just put it around here. Look, don't question me. The next thing that I was asked is, what is your #1 favourite product ever? Okay. In term, do you know what? Right. Okay. I'm going to have to say it is, and it's here somewhere. Look, it's my NARS Matte Concealer, because I just use it all the time and I have repurchased it I don't know how many times. Oh yeah, that's a bit manic, but I'm kind of here for it. Yeah. Oh yeah, actually I'm okay with this. This is insane, but in a good way. I think. So yeah, I like that. I would also say that bloody Dior foundation. I hate how much I love it. It's the Undercover foundation. I've had that for a while now, and I am gonna have to get more. Like when that runs out, like I love it so much. This is actually kind of cute. Weird, but cute. And then Paula, you crafty minx, asking who is my #1 sausage. I mean, I'm a vegetarian, my love. I don't do sausages. I suppose I kind of have to say our Lord and Saviour Missa, because without her I wouldn't have the rest of you. So there you go. I mean, that's a politically correct answer, right? Isn't it? I think so. And then this is the very last question I got asked. So I'm gonna answer that and then finish off the rest of this off camera, because, you know, that's like what normal people do. But I got asked, what is the shittest product that was released this year? Okay, there are two, okay? One is the travesty that was the Sims Mac palette, because I get annoyed at Mac because they are capable of amazing things, and then sometimes they just F it up. They F it up massively. And that the Sims palette made no sense on so many fronts. The colour story had nothing to do with The Sims, and I will fight anyone who tries to tell me that it did, because you are clearly having issues. Because it's not okay. It's bad. Then the other one, I'm sorry, Matty, I'm gonna say it, Fenty. The Fenty gloss thing, the clip-on. What the hell was that? We're in the middle of a pandemic. And they were like, yeah, here, have this thing that you like stick onto your belt and you poke your finger into. Ugh. No, that was terrible. That was a swing, and not only a miss, but it was like a swing and then a smack into the face. That was a fucking abysmal. That was so bad. And on that note, I'm going to finish off the rest of my makeup, and I'm going to come back and show you what it all looks like. Yeah. I'm back. I put on a really obvious wig. Tia wears it better than me, but there you go. I can never get it to place properly. Maybe my head is not the correct size. Who knows? Anyways, this is what I did in the end. Yeah, pretty simple, but definitely out of my comfort zone, because I don't like orange. I've never really done animal print, and I've never used glitter in that sort of way before. I've used it in other ways. Anyways, that's it. I hope you found that interesting, or that you found out a little bit more about me, if you wanted to, that is. And if you didn't, oh, it was probably TMI, but there you go. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell if you want to see more videos in general. Do please share, because sharing is caring, unless of course it's an STD, in which case, you know, wrap it up. Don't be gross. But that's it. That's the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.